Hi guys, today we're going to take a look at combat rating. Players often have questions concerning combat rating, and there's a lot of misconception concerning combat rating, so we're going to try to answer a few of those questions, and we're going to try to clarify how combat rating actually works. So if you want to know what your combat rating is, you need to go into your inventory, and you need to go to the stats tab. If you scroll all the way down, you're going to see there's three different combat ratings that you're going to see. You're going to see combat rating, equipped combat rating, and PvP combat rating. We're going to take a look at the distinction between those three. When you look at your gear, you see an item level on your gear. For example, the gear I'm wearing right now is item level 98. As you play the game and as you get gear of a higher level, that is what will raise your combat rating. And why do you want to raise your combat rating? Because the more you raise your combat rating, and the more you have access to more missions. Another example, you can see that my weapon is item level 108. So all your gear combined will give you a value which will establish your combat rating. So the combat rating is essentially the overall value of all your gear put together. So right now my combat rating is 113. So if we look at the description, you can see that it measures your combat effectiveness based upon the best equipment in your possession. That means that even the gear you're not wearing on your character will influence your combat rating, as opposed to your equipped combat rating. Essentially, the equipped combat rating is the gear that your character is actually wearing. So as you can see in the description, it measures your combat effectiveness based upon the equipment you're currently using. So what does that mean is that I could possibly have a piece of equipment that's higher level that I'm not using, but that is in my inventory. So essentially my equipped combat rating would be the equipment that my character is using, but my combat rating could be a little higher if in my equipment I have a piece of gear that is higher level, but that I am not currently using. And the PvP combat rating is essentially the same, but for your PvP gear. Essentially in this universe online we have PvE gear, player versus environment gear, and we have PvP gear, player versus player gear. I will get back to the PvP gear in a bit. So let's see what happens if I remove at least a few pieces of gear. I'll remove about half of my gear. So you can see that my equipped combat rating went down, but my combat rating stayed the same. Essentially, once you raise your combat rating, it will never go down, ever. The only thing that can go down is your equipped combat rating. Essentially, they did that so that you could not go back into older missions in order to get marks of victory. Essentially, once your combat rating goes up, you can no longer go back into, let's say, level 30 missions and get marks of victory from those missions. So removing gear or even deleting gear will not allow you to get marks of victory from older missions. So there's no point in doing that. So let's use our armory to re-equip all our gear. And as you can see, we're back to combat rating 113 with our equipped combat rating. Now let's take a look at our PvP combat rating. So as you can see, now I'm wearing my PvP gear. So you can see my PvP combat rating and my equipped PvP combat rating. Again, it measures your combat effectiveness in PvP based upon the best equipment in your possession and based upon the equipment that you're wearing. And you can see that there is a difference between my equipped combat rating and my PvP combat rating. My PvP combat rating is 81, but my equipped combat rating is 68. I will show you why. If you look at my PvP gear, you can see that it's item level 85. But my weapon is item level 108. It's because essentially I deleted my PvP weapon by mistake, and I equipped a PvE weapon to replace it. So until I replace my weapon with a PvP weapon, my PvP equipped combat rating will be lower than my overall PvP combat rating. Again, as I mentioned, once you raise your combat rating, it never goes back down, even if you delete your gear. If you delete your gear by accident or destroy it or whatever, only your equipped combat rating will go down. So I hope this explanation about combat rating made a bit of sense. Hopefully this will help some of you guys understand why there's different combat ratings and the distinction between each of them. So that was Flash Fact for today. So thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.